Una's Sanity Corner. I'm the radically loving parenting specialist, and today we're talking about strictness. Am I parenting with enough strictness? Is a question I often hear. For example, recently I was talking to a mum and she was saying, my husband says I'm not strict enough. I'm letting the children run rings around me. When we were small, um, when our parents told us to do something, we did it. And we should be stricter. And the thing is, Una, she said to me, the thing is, when he is strict with the children, I see it not working and I see things escalating. But I worry that maybe I should be being stricter. What do you think? So I hear this question, or a variation of this question, quite often, and it's a question that I had myself when my son was younger. I remember my aunt telling me in no uncertain terms I should definitely be stricter, and also my son's swimming teacher. And perhaps there's someone in your life, and let me know if that is the case. Is there someone in your life who makes you feel or tells you, a mother or sister or someone in your life who tells you that you should be being stricter with the children? And I want to clear that up with you today and help you with that worry, because when we've got worries about these kind of things, they occupy mental space and it's very difficult to be there for the children and kind of handle the situation that's in front of us effectively and even enjoy our life because we're questioning ourselves all the time. So I really want to help to clear this up for you. So strictness, there are definite advantages to it, and that's why people, talk about its benefits, because behavior, bad behavior, what we call bad behavior, will vanish and you will get children to do things. But there is a great cost to it. And that's why I don't recommend it in terms of, when we talk about strictness as authoritarian parenting. Because, and the greatest cost is this, that strictness overrides emotions. You lose the opportunity to help your child self-regulate or learn how to self-regulate when you go to strictness. Because strictness is about the result, isn't it? It's not about the process and what the child's going through. So with strictness, we skip over that step of showing your child understanding, showing them kindness, and helping them develop that way of dealing with difficult emotions, of meeting difficult emotions with, with kindness and with understanding. And I believe this is one of the most profound gifts we can give our children, um, to show them how difficult feelings can be met with kindness. And, a well self regulated person is someone who will have a successful life because they're not being pulled hither and thither um, by by negative and harsh inner voices. So that's the downside with strictness, and I think it's quite a big one. But what you may be feeling when you ask yourself that question, and it's certainly something that I ask myself, is, well, what is it then? If you're not happy with how everything's going, if you're feeling that parenting is a chore, or you're not really enjoying your children, or you're feeling, yeah, I'm not really in control, that's an uncomfortable feeling. And so I totally get it if you're feeling, well, perhaps I should be being stricter. I get it. Um, but perhaps it's this rather. I'm going to suggest it's maybe that you would like to bring more firmness into your life with your children. And here are a few signs that maybe you could be bringing more firmness into life with your children. Here are three signs. First of all, if you're avoiding saying things to your children or avoiding setting limits because um, it's uncomfortable for you when your children express difficult feelings, when they resist or when they react, then that's a sign that perhaps you need more firmness. Secondly, if your child is doing dangerous things repeatedly, like pushing, running off, hitting, things like that, yeah, that could be another sign that more firmness is needed. And the third sign is this, that when your child is unhappy with something, when they have a little meltdown or they react or they express disappointment, sadness, those kinds of things, not so much sadness, but they express disappointment or anger, then you feel as if you must have done something wrong. It brings you to question yourself, right? You feel like, oh no, they're not happy. What did I do wrong? What did I do wrong? That's a sign that maybe you're lacking a bit of firmness. Because, and these all kind of relate to each other, because your child really needs to feel that you've got a firm no in your back pocket. And actually, they need to feel unhappy with some of your decisions. Not that you would make decisions in order to make them unhappy, that would be cruel and ludicrous, but some of your decisions are bound to make them unhappy. And if they're not, then then that's a sign that you need more firmness. Because actually, when children can relax, because what happens when you're happy with when your child reacts to something that you say or something that you decide, it means that your child can kind of relax into your leadership. They feel and they know that you are in charge. And that's very comforting, actually, for your child. They don't want to be in charge. They may seem to want to be in charge, but it actually feels too big and too too powerful to be in charge of their own lives. They want a little bit. They need a little bit. That's important, but not too much. And so if any of these resonate for you, what I recommend is more firmness with kindness. They kind of need to go hand in hand. And then your child will feel guided, they'll feel led by you, and they'll feel understood at the same time. And that's very powerful. I call this process kind containment. And there are 3 steps that I've identified that really help this work with children and work for you as well, for your family life. And the first step is showing understanding for whatever is going on for your child. Connecting with your child. And the most wonderful way you can do this is by empathizing with their point of view, whatever is going on for them. So you might say something like, I know you wouldn't have done that if you hadn't been very angry with your brother. And so your child feels that although that you're giving guidance, you may be setting a limit, you understand them. And then secondly, you express your point of view, and I don't want you to hit your brother. And the third part is problem solving, where you work out a win-win solution together. And there you might say, so how can we carry on with playing so that both of you get to play with something and can have fun with what you're doing? And then you work it out. And by involving your child, you give them that little bit of control that I was talking about earlier. And I call this process kind containment. You can actually read up about it in my free guide, Solve the Struggle with Your Kids. So if you haven't downloaded that, I really recommend it. And you'll kind of get the overview of how you can use this approach. And yeah, that's what I wanted to share with you today. I hope that clears up any niggling worries you may have about strictness and gives you a way forward that feels right and good for you. So lots of love to you. Bye bye.